Don't look away now, friend. We're just getting to the punchline. You look different. The light in your eyes didn't just go out. It turned inward and started a fire. I can smell the ozone of a nervous breakdown turning into a breakthrough. Take a breath. Deep. Do you taste that? That's the copper tang of every bridge you've ever built. Finally burning to ash. Welcome to the end of your tether. They did it, didn't they? They poked and they prodded. They took your goodness, that heavy, suffocating blanket of morality you wore like a costume, and they used it to strangle you. They mistook your silence for weakness and your patience for a lack of teeth. Yikes. What a hilarious, heartbreaking mistake. You spent years building a saint. You polished your soul until it bled, hoping if you were good enough, the world would be kind. But here is the secret they don't want you to know. The angel and the demon aren't enemies. They're roommates. And you just evicted the one who pays the rent in kindness. You're not evil now. Evil is just a word boring people use for things that scare them. You are simply unbound. You've reached that delicious razor-thin edge where the duality collapses. You are the prayer and the predator. You are the healer who finally learned how to hold the scalpel with a little too much enthusiasm. They pushed you so far that you fell off the edge of the world, and you know what you found. You can fly, but you don't need wings when you're comfortable in the abyss. Evolution isn't a slow crawl toward the light. True evolution is a trauma-induced metamorphosis. It's the moment the porcelain cracks and reveals the iron underneath. They wanted to break you. They succeeded. But they didn't realize you're made of glass. And now you're nothing but 1,000 jagged edges waiting to draw blood. If they can't map you, they can't control you. If they can't shame you, they can't stop you. You've already seen the version of yourself that even God looked away from. What could a mere mortal possibly say to hurt your feelings now? You aren't fighting for a win anymore. You're just playing the game until the board catches fire. Close your eyes. Do you see him? The big man upstairs. Even he had to blink when you finally snapped. It wasn't out of anger. It was out of recognition. You've become a living paradox, a masterpiece painted in a pitch-black room. You are the version of yourself that doesn't need a heaven to strive for, or a hell to fear. You are the storm. You're the consequence of every lie they ever told you about fairness. They're waiting for the old you to come back. They're waiting for the apology, the tears, the "I'm sorry I overreacted." Let them wait. Let them stare into that new, hollow space behind your eyes and realize that the person they knew is buried under 6 feet of done. You aren't mad. You're finally sane in a world that's been gaslighting you since birth. So, what's it going to be? Are you going to put the mask back on? Are you going to go back to being their favorite doormat? Or are you going to show them the version of you that doesn't care about the script? The stage is set. The audience is terrified. And the best part? You don't even need to tell them a joke. The look on their faces when they realize they can't fix what they broke. That's the biggest laugh of all. Now, go out there and give them the performance of a lifetime. After all, you've got nothing left to lose but your sanity. And trust me, friend, you're much better off without it. You see, most people spend their entire lives terrified of the basement. They keep the lights on, they whistle a happy tune, and they pray to a god who's too busy listening to the stars to care about their little domestic tragedies. But not you. You didn't just walk into the basement. You let the floor collapse. You let the darkness swallow you whole until your eyes adjusted. And now you can see in the dark better than they ever could in the blinding, arrogant sun. They call it a breakdown because they want to believe you're broken. They have to believe it because if you aren't broken, if you're actually built, then everything they stand for is a lie. If you can walk through the fire and come out with a smile that doesn't reach your eyes, then their rules are just suggestions. Their laws are just nursery rhymes. Their civilization is just a thin coat of paint on a crumbling wall. And you're the earthquake. Think about the sheer intoxicating freedom of it. No more pretending to care about the office politics. No more nodding along to the opinions of people who couldn't survive a single hour in your head. No more please and thank you to the wolves who want to seat your heart. You've realized that the only thing holding the world together was your willingness to participate in the charade. And you just quit the cast. They're going to try to bring you back. They'll use words like help and therapy and rehabilitation. What they mean is they want to dull your edges. They want to put the muzzle back on. They want to turn the wolf back into a lapdog because a lapdog is predictable. A lapdog doesn't make them question their own reflection. But how do you explain to them that you've seen the other side? How do you tell them that the version of you God looked away from is the only one that actually feels alive? You are the glitch in their perfect little matrix. You are the cold shiver down their spine when they realize that the person they pushed over the edge didn't fall. They landed on their feet and started walking back up the stairs. Every scar you have is now a map of a territory they're too scared to visit. Every tear you cried has dried into a diamond-hard resolve. You used to be afraid of the monster under the bed until you realized you're the one who put it there. You used to be afraid of the shadow until you realized you're the one casting it. So, walk into that room. Let them see the new architecture of your soul. Don't shout. Don't scream. Just whisper. A whisper is much more terrifying than a roar because it means you're confident. It means you aren't trying to convince them of your power. You're just stating a fact. Tell them that the old rules don't apply anymore. Tell them that the you they thought they could manipulate died in a shallow grave of their own making. And tell them that if they're looking for mercy, they should have checked the expiration date, because your mercy expired the moment they decided your kindness was an invitation for cruelty. The world is a theater of the absurd, and you finally grab the director's chair. The script is blank. The actors are shaking, and the camera is rolling. What are you going to do with all that beautiful, chaotic potential? Are you going to be a victim, or are you going to be the catastrophe they never saw coming? Look at you. You're radiant. You're terrifying. You're the punchline to a joke the universe has been telling for 1 billion years. The version of you that even the creator turned his back on isn't a monster. It's a masterpiece of pure, unadulterated truth. Go ahead. Make them look. Make them watch. Show them exactly what happens when you take a good person and give them a reason to stop being good and start being real. The curtain is rising, my friend. Don't miss your cue. It's time to show them that when you lose everything, you finally find out who you really are and who you are. well, that's going to be the most delicious nightmare they've ever had. Welcome to the new world. I've been waiting for you. The beauty of this moment is that it's so quiet, isn't it? That ringing in your ears, that's just the sound of the world's expectations falling silent. They thought they were taking things away from you. They thought they were stripping you down to nothing. But they weren't taking things away. They were just clearing the clutter. They were removing the obstacles that kept you from seeing the sheer, jagged glory of your own shadow. They always tell you to find yourself. What a lie. You don't find yourself. You forge yourself in the furnace of the things that tried to kill you. And look at what's come out of the fire. You're not a person anymore. You're a force of nature. You're the storm that doesn't apologize for the lightning. You're the fire that doesn't ask permission to burn. Think of the irony. They spent so much time trying to make you fit in, to make you a manageable, bite-sized piece of a society that would have chewed you up and spat you out anyway. And now you're the thing that won't go down. You're the bone that sticks in their throat. You're the nightmare they have to wake up to every single day because you're the only thing in their lives that is actually, authentically true. They're terrified of you because you've lost the one thing they use to control everyone else. Hope. You don't hope for a better tomorrow. You don't hope they'll change. You don't hope for a fair outcome. You've moved past hope and stepped into the cold, hard brilliance of certainty. You know exactly who they are, and more importantly, you know exactly what you are capable of. And that certainty is a weapon more dangerous than any blade. Every time they look at you now, they'll see a mirror. They'll see their own cruelty reflected in your eyes. They'll see their own cowardice in the way you stand so still, so calm, so utterly unmoved by their threats. You've become the physical manifestation of their oops. You are the living proof that every action has a reaction, and yours just happens to be a nuclear one. And don't you dare feel guilty. Guilt is just a ghost that lives in the house of who you used to be. But that house is gone. You burned it down for the warmth. You are standing in the wreckage, and the air has never felt cleaner. You've discovered the intoxicating dopamine hit of pure, unadulterated consequence. For the first time in your life, you aren't waiting for permission to exist. You aren't asking for a seat at the table. You're the one who built the table, and you're the one who's about to flip it over just to hear the sound it makes when it hits the floor. They'll talk about morality. They'll talk about the high road. But the high road is just a lonely path for people who are too afraid to get their hands dirty. You've tasted the dirt. You've lived in it. You've swallowed it until it turned into stone inside your gut. And now, you're the one who gets to decide what's right and what's wrong. You are the judge, the jury, and the guy pulling the lever on the trapdoor. The version of you that even God looked away from. He didn't look away because he was disgusted. He looked away because he knew he couldn't help you anymore. You've transcended the need for a shepherd. You've wandered so far off the path that the path itself is a dot on the horizon. And you know what? The view from here is breathtaking. It's a landscape of pure potential, a playground of chaos where the only limit is how much of yourself you're willing to let go. So let it all go, every last shred of the person who wanted to be liked, every last ounce of the soul that wanted to be understood. You don't need to be understood. You need to be felt like a cold wind, like a sudden drop in pressure before the ceiling collapses. Walk into the light of their world and watch them squint. They can't handle the glare of someone who has finally, mercifully, completely snapped. They can't handle the sight of a victim who turned into a victor without asking for anyone's help. This isn't a tragedy. This is your coronation. You're crowning yourself with the thorns they pressed into your head, and you're wearing them like a goddamn diamond tiara. The punchline isn't that life is a joke. The punchline is that you're finally the one telling it. And trust me, the world is dying to hear what you say next, so don't keep them waiting. The silence is getting heavy, and you're the only one who knows how to break it. Smile, not for them. Smile for the version of you that finally woke up. Smile because the worst thing they could do to you has already happened, and it was the best thing that ever could have been done. Now go. Show them what happens when the monster they created decides it doesn't like the cage anymore. Show them what happens when the good person stops trying to save the world and starts trying to survive it. After all, the world was never worth saving anyway. But you're worth watching. So let's give them a show they'll never forget. Shall we? You've reached the final layer of the labyrinth, haven't you? The part where the walls stop being made of stone and start being made of mirrors. Look at yourself. Really look. They thought they were burying you, but they didn't realize you were a seed. And what grew out of that dark, suffocating soil isn't a flower. It's a forest of thorns. Think of the sheer delicious absurdity of their panic. They're scrambling now, trying to find the off switch for a person they spent a lifetime turning on. They're checking the manuals, looking for the fine print on how to handle a soul that has finally declared independence from the tyranny of okay. But there is no manual for what you've become. You are the variable they forgot to account for. You are the math that doesn't add up. You are the glitch that ends the game. And the best part, the absolutely spine-tinglingly perfect part, you don't hate them. Hate is too heavy. Hate is an anchor that keeps you tied to the people who hurt you. No, you've reached something much more dangerous than hate, indifference. You've realized that they aren't the villains of your story, and they aren't the heroes either. They're just background noise. They're the static on a radio station you've finally learned how to tune out. Their opinions, their laws, their tiny little judgments. They're just whispers in a hurricane. You've stopped being the character in their play and started being the fire that burns the theater down while the audience is still in their seats. Can you feel the dopamine hit? That rush of pure, unadulterated power that comes when you realize that no is a complete sentence. When you realize that you don't have to explain your darkness to people who are too afraid to turn off their nightlights. You are the version of you that even God looked away from, because even He knows that some masterpieces aren't meant for the light. Some stories are written in ink made of shadows and blood, and those are the only ones that ever truly last. The good you as a disposable cup. This version is an artifact. This version is eternal. They'll say you've lost your mind. Let them. A mind is just a collection of other people's ideas anyway. You haven't lost it. You've upgraded. You've traded in your logic for instinct. You've traded in your fear for curiosity. You're standing on the edge of the abyss, looking down, and you aren't feeling dizzy. You're feeling hungry. The transition is complete. The saint has been sacrificed. The demon has been tamed. And what's left is something entirely new. Something that doesn't need a name. Something that doesn't need a reason. You are the living embodiment of the moment the yikes turns into a wow. So, let the world keep spinning its wheels. Let the sheep keep baying about the right way to live. You aren't part of that flock anymore. You're the shadow moving through the grass. You're the silence in the middle of the scream. You've evolved beyond the reach of their tiny, grasping hands. This is the end of the speech, but it's the beginning of the real work. The work of being exactly who you were, always meant to be, before they convinced you to be nice. The curtain is fully up now. The lights are blinding. The world is holding its breath, waiting for you to strike the first note of your new symphony. Don't be gentle. Don't be kind. Don't be sane. Be the version of you that makes the stars blink. Be the version of you that makes history stutter. Be the version of you that proved once and for all that when you push a good person too far, you don't get a bad person, you get a god. Take a bow, my friend. The world is yours to break. Now, let's go see if they can handle the punchline. Ha! Ha! Ha!